Welcome! In the last lecture, we successfully added in this nighttime sky for our sky system, and now, by adjusting this time of day, we can switch between our daytime sky and our nighttime sky. And thanks to our hard work, we also have correct moon rotation and sun rotation based on the time of day. And the next thing that we need to add in, so I'm gonna increase this time of day. So currently, our nighttime sky is a bit empty, and apparently we need to add stars, we need to add moon to it. And we'll need to do that through something called sky sphere. This is what the mesh looks like. You can see this is not a regular sphere. All the normals of this sphere are inversed. So this makes sure the light can still come through, and we can use this sphere as our new sky. So apparently, to use it, we'll need to add it to our dynamic sky actor. And we also need a sky material. So let's look at how we can set this up. Back to my project. First, you'll need to make sure in your settings you have show engine content and show plugin content enabled. Then, inside of your engine folder, I'm gonna type in sky. And you can see there's an asset called BP Sky Sphere. Right mouse button click and click this show in folder view. So this will take you to where this sphere is located. So this is the old Sky Sphere Unreal Engine 4 uses before Sky Hemisphere and Volumetric Cloud was a thing. This is a blueprint asset. That's not what we need. We'll need a static mesh. And if you scroll down, you can see this is the one we need. It's called SM_Sky Sphere. So I'm going to copy this asset and move it to our own folder. So scroll up. I'm going to drag this asset to our blueprints folder and select copy here. This is the only mesh we need, so I'm not going to create a new folder for it. And go to this blueprints folder. First, I'm going to reset its material. So double click to open it. And you can see this is the old Unreal Engine 4 sky. Now I'm going to reset this material. So click this icon. And we'll have the sky sphere back. Alright, I'm going to close this window. Then double click to open this dynamic sky. And having the scene rule selected, I'm going to add a new component, and needs to be a static mesh component. And I'm going to rename this to SM_Sky Sphere. And I'm going to change its static mesh to the mesh that we just duplicated. So select this one and click this icon to fill it in. I don't have my viewport tab anymore in here. I'm going to bring it back. So click this window drop down and select viewport. And you can see this is our sky sphere. Currently, the size of it is not big enough. We'll need this sphere to cover our entire world. And to do that, I'm going to click this icon to lock the ratio. Then I'm going to give it a super large number for its scale. So I'm going to try a value of 100,000. So this way, this mesh should be big enough to cover our entire world. Alright, click compile. And go back to my level. So currently, that sphere is covering our entire world, and if I change my time of day to somewhere near 5 AM, you can clearly see the sphere is there. And apparently, this is not what we want. So we'll need to create a sky material for it. So this is my current setup. You can get hold of this mesh by searching for it inside of engine folder, and you just need to make a duplicate of it and move it to your own folder. After that, add it to your blueprint actor as a component. Alright, if you'd like to catch up with me, you can pause the video now and give this a go. Welcome back. Now that we have the sky sphere ready, next thing we'll need to create a material for it. So for that, I'm going to go to my content folder, right mouse button click, create a new folder. I'm going to name this one materials and double click to open it. Right mouse button click again. And this time, I'm going to call this new folder sky, and double click to open it, and right mouse button click, and this time select material. I'm going to call this material M_dynamic sky sphere, and double click to open it. So in order to turn this material into a sky material that our sphere can use, there are a few settings that we need to set first. So number one, this shading model, we'll need to change it from default lit to unlit. And now we only have a few sockets available to us. Then inside of the search bar here, I'm going to search for is sky. And take the checkbox in here. And then we'll need some external data to mimic the behavior of our sky hemisphere. So the first node we need is called sky hemisphere view luminance. You can think of this node contains the color of our sky sphere. And we're gonna need another one. It's called Sky Hemisphere Light Disk Luminance. So it's this one. I'm gonna bring it out. So this is the directional light inside of our scene. And I'm gonna add these two values together and plug it into emissive color. Alright, I'm gonna click apply. Then I'm gonna go back to my content browser. I'm gonna create a material instance from this material so that later we can adjust the different parameters from there. And the traditional way for doing that would be right mouse button click and select this create material instance. A material instance created this way will have this underscore inst added to it. I don't want to delete this every time and add mi in front of it. That's just time consuming given the amount of materials that we need to create later. In the resources dropdown of this lecture, you should be able to find a UAsset file, download it, and this is what you should get. So I created a small tool for creating material instance. This should speed up the process quite a bit. So select this UAsset, Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V to paste it into your content folder. Then go back to your project. You should be able to see the asset inside of your content folder. And now, I'm first going to delete this material instance. If you right mouse button click again, a new menu entry will be added. And this will only appear when you right mouse button click a material. And now you can select this create material instance advanced, and a window will pop out. If you want to change the main name here, you can directly type in the name you want. And if you don't, you can just untick this checkbox and click OK. And a new material instance will be created with the correct naming convention. This is going to save us a lot of time later. Hey, this is me from the future, just in case I wasn't being clear enough about the tool. So when you right mouse button click your material and go to this scripted as action, click this create material instance. This main name here means the name after m underscore of your clicked material. If you want to change that, you can just directly type in the new main name in here. For example, I'm going to type in test inst and click OK. Now you can see a new material instance created with the main name test inst. And if you don't want to change that, you can just untick this checkbox and it will keep the original main name and use that as the name for your material instance. Alright, back to the old me. Alright, I'm going to assign this material instance to this sky sphere. So I'm going to go back to my blueprint, and for the material slot here, I'm going to type in mi underscore dynamic sky sphere and select this one. And now you can see that mesh is gone. We can no longer see it. And go back to my level. Everything is back to where they were before. And to prove this is working, I'm going to increase this camera speed scaler quite a bit. So I'm going to increase it to 1000. And then we can fly out of this sky sphere. And you can see there it is. We can see the shape of the sky sphere, and we can also see a message. It says your scene contains a sky dome mesh with the sky material, but it does not cover the part of the screen. And that's great. This is exactly what we want. Alright, I'm going to fly back in. So I'm going to select this SKM Manning Simple and press F on my keyboard to zoom in. And I'm going to lower down this camera speed scaler back to 1. And just like that, we have our sky sphere ready. And we have a sky material ready. And starting from next lecture, we'll look at how we can add in stars and moon. So in order to have a working sky material, first you'll need to change this shading model from default lit to unlit, and make sure you tick this is sky, so that this material can be used as a sky hemisphere. And these are the two basic nodes that we need. What they do here is simply reproduce our sky hemisphere inside of the material. Once you've created this material, you can assign it to your sky sphere in your blueprint. Alright, time for you to do the same, and I'll see you in the next lecture.